Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, today is the second anniversary of a very tragic event in Japan, an earthquake, a tsunami that claimed nearly 16,000 lives, it destroyed community infrastructure, homes, livelihoods. Years now after the fact, our prayers remain with the people of Japan for the lives that were lost and really for the devastation that occurred within that country. I had an opportunity to be in Japan in January and had a chance to see for myself some of the devastation that Japan still faces 2 years after the 3/11 tsunami and earthquake. The pictures that so many of us recall of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear reactor we all watched with great concern as the accident in front of us unfolded. Truly a sense of helplessness that was brought about by an act of nature, a massive earthquake delivering a massive wave and truly bringing about massive destruction. I also had an opportunity after viewing the Fukushima Daiichi reactor to travel north to a small fishing village by the name of Rikuzen Takata, community of about 23,000 people. That community alone lost over 1,900 residents that were swept out to sea, including the life of an Alaskan teacher, Mr. Monty Dixon, whose life was lost. To be in this fishing village 2 years after the fact and see how this community is trying to regain its footing, not only economically but really emotionally, was really quite compelling. And again, Japan is dealing with the aftermath of this destruction in ways that we here probably cannot appreciate. From an energy perspective, the country of Japan literally overnight went from being a nation where close to 30% of their energy is generated by nuclear to a point where those nuclear reactors, the nuclear power that was generated, was truly just shut down as everything was on pause for that nation. And how a nation really rearranges its energy portfolio is a situation that country is dealing with as we speak. But there were connections between Japan and the tsunami that I think are still being felt today. When that tsunami hit, the people of Alaska were on alert on our coastlines, waiting and wondering whether or not we would be impacted by the giant wave that had taken the lives of so many thousands of Japanese. Well, we didn't see the big wave, but what we did see and what we are continuing to see is a level of marine debris that has been carried across the currents from Japan across the Pacific Ocean, hitting Hawaii, California, Oregon, Washington State, British Columbia, and then circling all along the coastline of my state of Alaska. It's estimated that there's about 1.5 million tons of debris that are floating in the ocean. It was estimated by the Japanese Ministry of the Environment that there were 5 million tons of debris that washed into the ocean. They further estimated that 70% of that debris sank near the coast of Japan soon after the event, and this was, of course, something that the Japanese fishermen were greatly concerned and worried about. But what is happening now is as that debris, the floating debris, moves its way across the currents, we are seeing it on our shorelines in Alaska in surprising quantities. The picture that we have behind me is debris, the roof of a house, the bottom of a boat, buoys, just a floating mass of debris in the middle of the Pacific. These are some of the sightings that we have seen over the course of 2 years now. Sometimes the sightings are pretty phenomenal, like this picture here, which was off the Oregon coast. This is actually a concrete dock that floated all the way across the ocean from Japan and landed on the coast of Oregon. I've got sons that are commercial fishermen. They spend their summers out on the water. You worry about obstacles in the water that our fishing vessels could encounter. Running into a concrete dock is not something that any mariner would want to do. So you think 2 years after the fact, we should have seen most of the debris that we would anticipate. And in fact, the vast majority is still coming our way, or that's the understanding. These are buoys along the Alaskan shore. This was taken on Montague Island, which is just off of Kodiak Island. Now, not all these buoys are necessarily from Japan. Some are just the general marine debris that we see. But what we have been able to determine is that the Japanese buoys are coming across. Those things that are sitting higher up on the water are moving more quickly. But things that are just below the water surface are still on their way. So how do we deal with all of this? How do we reach the beaches, whether it's the beaches in Oregon, California, Hawaii, or Alaska? In Alaska, we've got 33,000 miles of coastline. That's a lot of territory for debris to come up upon. And so much of this area in my state, these beaches are not accessible by vehicle. They're not accessible by road. It's extraordinarily difficult to deal with the cleanup. This is a picture of marine debris cleanup in a community by the name of Yakutat, a small fishing village, where there are no individuals to see this. There are none to appreciate what has happened. But still, we are faced with styrofoam, plastics, nets, incredible amounts of nets, things that will not only foul the beaches, but foul the animals that may be in the area. We've got a responsibility to act. So how do we do it? How do we do it at a time of difficult budgets? We all appreciate that. It requires a level of creativity, if you will, partnerships with local and government officials. It requires us to be proactive in terms of what is coming to our shores. We have asked NOAA to assist with a debris cleanup task force to get all of the agencies that are involved, state, tribal, federal, to be participants in how we address these issues. The government of Japan last year stepped forward and provided $5 million to the affected states, plus an additional $1 million to Canada for just an effort, if you will. They were not obligated to provide the money, but in an effort to help us address the cleanups. But what we need to do here in this country, and again, asking the White House to establish this interagency task force to deal with the debris that continues to come to our shore. How we engage, how we're working together to help make a difference is going to be critical. And it's also, we don't want to forget the private interests that are potentially engaged in the cleanup. We've got so many different interests, so many different industries, and private citizens that are so dependent on our navigable waterways, our healthy ecosystems. What we need is good communication, we need good leadership, we need a plan to guide the interagency and the public-private partnership approach to solving the challenge. I do commend the NOAA Marine Debris Program for their coordination, their response to the work, but the fact is they're small. They are overtasked. They need the help of their federal partners to address this as a national priority. So as we continue to see increased levels of debris coming over, left after the tsunami, it's imperative that we act to address it. It's been interesting in the Alaska press because there have been ongoing stories about the connections. You think Japan is thousands of miles away, and we don't have that connect there. The beachcombers finding a soccer ball with the name of a Japanese boy, a 16-year-old boy, and his phone number, being able to make that call back to the village of Rikuzen Takata and tell that young man whose family lost everything in the tsunami that we've got your soccer ball here. It made it to the shore of Middleton Island in Alaska. But for that young man to have been delivered that soccer ball after everything else that he and his family owned had been wiped out was a reminder that we're all connected here, and how we can be working together to help one another is key. In Alaska, we've got a lot of experience with helping our neighbors out. We will continue to work to address the issues, work to address the debris that is reaching our shore. But we do need a little bit of help from our government here. We do need a little bit of help when it comes to advancing this interagency task force so that we can address what we're seeing in Alaska, what we're seeing on our coastline in the Pacific Northwest and in Hawaii as well.